Hey and welcome to the 10th devlog of Blades of Deceron, a game which at this point is basically just a sequel to Gladihoppers, but set in a fantasy world so I don't have to pay royalties to the descendants of ancient Rome. I'm currently trying to finish the quick fight mode so that I can release it as a beta version before I eventually resume work on the campaign/story mode, which is of course going to be the main game mode where most players will spend most of their time. So first of all, I'm adding the remaining faction equipment that the artists have created. There will be more in the future, but I've currently paused progress on the art for a bit while I get the actual gameplay up to speed, so I don't burn through my budget without first having a functioning game to show for it. I'll also create the unit presets that contain the data for the units from every faction that exists in the world of Deceron, or at least in the region of the world where the campaign mode will take place. Now, while in the quick fight mode you can choose from these units instead of customizing the characters. I've also made a person data class which describes actual in-world characters as opposed to generic units, but so far I've only created Raven, the leader of Raven's Crows, a minor faction of highwaymen that dress up as birds and rob travelers. There's probably going to be some kind of an in-game codex containing faction lore, etc., because I really enjoy reading those in other games that I play, so I want my game to have that as well. Some time ago I started putting together a website for this same purpose that I will publish along with the full release of the game, and together with Milanote, it will probably altogether replace my use of World Anvil, which disappointingly has not turned out to be nearly as useful as I thought it would be. Anyway, skipping ahead a few days, and I've now fixed some bugs with the character customization, and in terms of menu functionality, it's more or less done. Obviously the UI and the overall presentation still need a lot of work, but I think as far as the beta version is concerned, it's fine like this. However, I still need to figure out how to lay out the action world selection here. For now, I'll leave it like this and move on to working on the actual quick fight mode. Generally, I'd like all types of gameplay that take place in the action world to be handled the same way in order for me to keep things simple. First there will be an intro, then the thing itself, like a fight or a minigame, and then finally an end screen with whatever relevant menus and stats that need to be displayed. The quick fight will have an intro with the camera zooming out or something and then panning between the characters before the fight begins and ends in an end screen containing the battle stats. This is all I need right now, but later on I plan on having minigames, arena tournaments, dungeons, story cutscenes and so on, which will all require their unique combination of intro and end screen elements. Alright, the basics are done, but much work still remains for the combat mechanics. I've got a list of things here that I want to finish before a beta version can be released. So the first thing I've done is to quickly add another set of animations, this time for the two-handed weapons, because up until now I had only animated one-handed ones. It's more or less going to be like in Gladihoppers, only that the two-handed weapons are placed in the rear hand instead of the front hand. The exception is the spear that can be used both with and without the shield, and its hand placement and animations will change accordingly. I also want to have at least 3 well-made backgrounds prepared, so I'm importing and sorting the new sprites that the artist made before the break. I've used the editor that I made in the last devlog to create the backgrounds. It's my plan to make this editor available for players to use in-game as well, but it's still pretty clunky, so that will probably only happen closer to the full release. I fixed up the selection screen a bit and added some placeholder flavor text. These backgrounds are based on locations from the overworld, and this is more or less going to be the workflow for giving each location its own unique background. Create it in the editor, save it down as a JSON file, and then associate it with an overworld location. I hope that by now you can see how big this project has become, and although it may not be evident from these devlogs, I am still making progress on the game, albeit very slowly due to several reasons, and by several reasons I mean mainly one reason. Anyway, I wanted to do a lot more in this devlog, but I've been really busy this summer and I didn't want to delay releasing this video any further. I'll be back this autumn with another devlog that hopefully wraps up the beta version, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.